Human relationships are a cornerstone of our lives, shaping our experiences and influencing our well-being. However, not all connections are positive. Toxic individuals can significantly impact our mental, emotional, and even physical health. Drawing from various philosophical schools of thought, we'll explore 20 types of toxic people and the reasons to steer clear of their influence. First, from Stoicism, the Narcissist. Marcus Aurelius said in Meditations, Book 2, "Begin each day by telling yourself, 'Today I shall be meeting with interference, ingratitude, insolence, disloyalty, ill will, and selfishness, all of them due to the offender's ignorance of what is good or evil.'" The narcissist, consumed by an insatiable need for recognition and validation, often bulldozes over the emotions and needs of others without a second thought. This quote emphasizes the understanding that people may act negatively due to their ignorance rather than a malicious intent. This aligns with Stoic teachings about focusing on one's own actions and responses rather than being consumed by the behaviors of others, which can be connected to narcissistic tendencies. In contrast, Stoicism teaches us the value of humility and recognizing our own limitations. Unfortunately, interacting with a narcissistic individual can often result in emotional manipulation and exploitation as they seek to fulfill their own desires at the expense of others. Second, from Existentialism, the Drama Seeker. Albert Camus said, "The only way to deal with an unfree world is to become so absolutely free that your very existence is an act of rebellion." Drama seekers eagerly seek out chaos and turmoil, using it as fuel to stir up conflicts wherever they go. They revel in the thrill of heightened emotions and thrive on creating drama where none was present before. Drawing from the tenets of existentialist philosophy, it is crucial to embrace personal freedom and carefully choose which interactions hold true meaning. Engaging with drama seekers can quickly disrupt inner peace and hinder personal growth, as their constant need for chaos can be draining and overwhelming. Third, from Utilitarianism, the Manipulator. Immanuel Kant said, "The end may justify the means as long as there is something that justifies the end." The philosophy of utilitarianism places a strong emphasis on the greater good, prioritizing the benefit of society as a whole. However, manipulative individuals operate with little regard for others, instead using tactics to gain personal advantage at the expense of those around them. Interacting with such individuals can leave one feeling exploited and morally compromised, caught in the wake of their selfish schemes and manipulations. Fourth, from Buddhism, the energy vampire. Buddha said, "Your worst enemy cannot harm you as much as your own unguarded thoughts." Energy vampires are insidious creatures, constantly draining positivity and vitality wherever they go. Their presence is like a dark cloud that saps the life and joy out of those around them. In contrast, Buddhism preaches the importance of mindfulness and inner peace as a means to achieve true happiness. However, when in the vicinity of energy vampires, one's mental tranquility is constantly at risk and personal well-being can be hindered. The constant emotional exhaustion caused by these toxic individuals can throw off one's entire state of mind, causing chaos and distress within. Fifth, from Humanism, the victim mentality. Edmund Burke said, "The only thing necessary for the triumph of evil is for good men to do nothing." Humanism, a philosophy rooted in empathy and understanding, stands in stark contrast to the manipulative tactics of those with a victim mentality. These individuals often use sympathy as a tool to gain advantage and further their own interests. Yet interacting with them can be detrimental, as it may foster codependent behaviors and stifle personal development. Sixth, from Taoism, the control freak. Lao Tzu said, "To attain knowledge, add things every day. To attain wisdom, subtract things every day." Control freaks, with their relentless need for power and control, resist the natural ebb and flow of life. The principles of Taoism, however, emphasize the importance of finding harmony and embracing the unpredictable nature of the universe. It can be incredibly frustrating to interact with control freaks, as their dominant tendencies often clash with our own desire for autonomy. But ultimately, It is up to us to find a balance between these opposing forces and navigate through life's twists and turns with grace and ease. 7th, from Confucianism, the gossip. Confucius said, "He who learns but does not think is lost. He who thinks but does not learn is in great danger." Gossip, like a swarm of bees, thrives on spreading rumors and negativity. Its venomous words pierce through the air, infecting those who listen with doubt and mistrust. In contrast, Confucianism emphasizes the importance of ethical behavior and thoughtful actions. The two cannot coexist in harmony. Involvement with gossips can quickly turn any environment into a toxic wasteland, eroding relationships and damaging trust. It is a reminder to choose our words wisely and to steer clear of those who thrive on spreading harm. 8th, from Stoicism, the martyr. Seneca said, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." Martyrs willingly bear the weight of excessive sacrifices and guilt others into reciprocating through emotional manipulation. On the other hand, Stoicism teaches the virtues of resilience and self-control. However, engaging with martyrs can often lead to exhaustion and burnout as they constantly demand more from those around them. It is a delicate balance between selflessness and self-care when dealing with these individuals. 9th, from Existentialism, the passive-aggressive. Jean-Paul Sartre said, "Man is condemned to be free because once thrown into the world, he is responsible for everything he does." The elusive and sneaky nature of passive-aggressive individuals allows them to skillfully evade direct confrontations, instead masking their true feelings and intentions behind a facade of false niceness. On the other hand, existentialism places great emphasis on individual responsibility and personal authenticity, encouraging one to take control of their own life and actions. However, when these two concepts collide in the form of interacting with passive-aggressive individuals, it can create an atmosphere rife with tension and confusion. The conflicting styles of communication and differing values can lead to a constant guessing game and underlying resentment. 10th, from Aristotelianism, the perfectionist. Aristotle said, "We are what we repeatedly do. Excellence, then, is not an act but a habit." Perfectionists, driven by their unattainable expectations, hold themselves and those around them to impossibly high standards. In contrast, Aristotelianism promotes the concept of finding harmony and equilibrium in all aspects of life. Interacting with perfectionists can often result in feelings of inadequacy and unease, as they constantly strive for flawlessness in themselves and others. 11th, from Epicurianism, the envious. Socrates said, "Envy is the ulcer of the soul." Envious individuals, consumed by their own jealousy, harbor deep-seated resentment towards those who have achieved success. In contrast, Epicureanism encourages one to find peace and joy in life's simple pleasures. However, being surrounded by envious people can create a toxic environment filled with constant competition and underlying bitterness. These individuals strive to bring others down to their level rather than celebrating their own accomplishments. 12th, from Kantian ethics, the boundary crosser. Immanuel Kant said, "Act in such a way that you treat humanity, whether in your own person or in the person of any other, never merely as a means to an end, but always at the same time as an end." The act of boundary crossing is a blatant disregard for personal boundaries and the basic principle of respect. According to Kantian ethics, it is imperative to honor and respect the autonomy of others. However, interactions with boundary crossers often result in feelings of violation and discomfort as their actions disrupt the established boundaries and norms of social interaction. This can leave individuals feeling unsettled and vulnerable as their sense of control and agency is undermined by the intrusive behavior of the boundary crosser. Ultimately, such encounters can have a detrimental effect on one's mental and emotional well-being, eroding trust and undermining healthy relationships. 13th, from Stoicism, the chronic complainer. Epictetus said, "We cannot control the actions of others, but we can control our reactions to them." The never-ending drone of chronic complainers is like a dark cloud constantly looming over everything else. They fixate on the negatives, disregarding any potential solutions. In contrast, Stoicism teaches us to focus on what we can control rather than dwelling on what we can't change. Unfortunately, interacting with chronic complainers can drain one's positivity and energy, leaving little room for optimism or productivity. It's like trying to wade through quicksand, exhausting and ultimately fruitless. 14th, from Utilitarianism, the attention seeker. Jeremy Bentham said, "The greatest happiness of the greatest number is the foundation of morals and legislation." The insatiable craving for validation consumes attention seekers, causing them to always prioritize their own needs above those of others. Interacting with these individuals can quickly drain one's emotional energy and result in neglecting authentic connections with people who genuinely care. It's like constantly pouring water into a bottomless well, never feeling satisfied or fulfilled. 15th, from Humanism, the judgmental. Nelson Mandela said, "The greatest glory in living lies not in never falling, but in rising every time we fall." Narrow-minded individuals, consumed by their own opinions and values, impose their beliefs onto others without considering their perspectives. In contrast, the principles of humanism emphasize the importance of empathy and acceptance towards all. However, being around judgmental people can trigger feelings of inadequacy and self-doubt, as they are quick to criticize and belittle those who do not conform to their ideals. 16th, from Existentialism, the noncommittal. Jean-Paul Sartre said, "Life begins on the other side of despair." Those who shy away from commitment evade responsibility and hinder the potential for meaningful connections. In contrast, existentialism places great importance on personal responsibility and living authentically. But when trying to form a bond with non-committals, one might experience a sense of unease and unpredictability. It is like trying to stand on a shaky bridge, never knowing when it might collapse underneath you. 17th, from Stoicism, the gaslighter. Seneca said, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." With a sly smile and calculated words, gaslighters twist the truth and warp reality to chip away at their victims' confidence. In contrast, Stoicism promotes strength and self-knowledge in the face of adversity. However, when faced with gaslighters, even the most stalwart individuals can be thrown into a state of self-doubt and disorientation as they try to make sense of the distorted version of reality being presented to them. 18th, from Virtue Ethics, the entitled. Aristotle said, "Justice is a contract of expediency, entered upon to prevent men harming or being harmed." Self-absorbed and entitled individuals believe they are inherently deserving of special treatment, without putting in the effort to earn it. On the other hand, virtue ethics emphasize the importance of moral character and integrity in one's actions. When forced to interact with these entitled individuals, it can incite feelings of resentment and injustice as their entitlement clashes with societal norms of fairness and hard work. 19th, from Epicurianism, the competitive. Epicurus said, "Do not spoil what you have by desiring what you have not. Remember that what you now have was once among the things you only hoped for." Individuals with a competitive nature prioritize victory and success above all else, often at the expense of collaboration and cooperation. On the other hand, followers of Epicureanism prioritize finding tranquility and taking joy in simple pleasures. When forced to interact with those who are hyper-competitive, it can create an atmosphere of tension and hinder the potential for genuine connections to be formed. 20th, from Existentialism, the emotionally unavailable. Jean-Paul Sartre said, "Freedom is what you do with what's been done to you." Individuals who are emotionally unavailable struggle to form deep, meaningful connections with others. The philosophy of existentialism places a strong emphasis on personal freedom and living an authentic life. However, when interacting with emotionally unavailable individuals, one may often feel isolated and frustrated by their inability to connect on an emotional level. It can be like trying to hold water in your hands. No matter how hard you try, the connection slips away, leaving behind a sense of longing and disappointment. At the end of the day, understanding the various types of toxic individuals and their philosophical underpinnings is essential for maintaining healthy relationships. By recognizing these traits and their potential impact, we can all navigate social interactions more mindfully, prioritizing well-being and fostering positive connections based on mutual respect and understanding. Remember, sometimes the healthiest choice is to distance oneself from toxic influences, prioritizing personal growth and happiness. Thanks for tuning in today. If you found this helpful, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe for more insightful content. Until next time, take care and keep nurturing those healthy relationships.